Sana colita de rana, bitches. What's up? It's your girl, Miss Chunky. Welcome to another video. So today we are going to be having a spooky story video with some homemade fettuccine alfredo, and we're going to have a little wine. So I'm going to drink a little bit of wine, and today we are going to be drinking this wine here, and we are going to be telling some scary ass stories, because y'all are some scary ass hoes. Like, let me tell you, I got a lot of stories up in my DMs. We gonna get a little buzzed. So I got my little wine here. I got my fettuccine. Let's dig into my homemade fettuccine, and then we're gonna get started on talking these ghosts. This is so bomb. You guys, the edamame pasta is so bomb. So, I've told you guys on my Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me now, because I get a lot of my stories from my Instagram. I told you guys to DM me some scary stories, and y'all, some of you guys' stories have me like really creeped out. Anyways, no, but these are true stories that were sent to me from you guys, my people. So let's begin with one of the stories. Now, this girl sent me two stories in one, and they were really good. Let me tell you, they were good. And this really happened to her. And I believe her. I 100% believe her. I totally believe all these people, because some of these stories, when you read them, you're like, fuck, you cannot believe this shit. Like, you really, like, it's really so scary and really so vivid and really so just like a movie. Like, it really is unbelievable. So this first story, this girl, when she was younger, I think she said she was like 17. Her mom used to leave her alone to take care of her brothers and her sisters. She didn't say how many brothers and sisters she had. She just said she had brothers and sisters. So she said this one night that she, her mom and her dad left. They went out, and she was taking care of her brothers and sisters, and it was like, you know, time to go to bed. And she fell asleep on the couch with her brother. So she fell asleep on the couch with her brother, and she woke up to noises in the kitchen, and almost like those noises like when you hear your mom cooking in the kitchen or cleaning dishes and stuff. So she heard like all this ruckus in the kitchen. So she was confused. Obviously, when you wake up, you're confused. You're like, what's going on? Like, what? You know, initially she thought it was her mom cooking. So when she kind of like moves her head to look in the kitchen, you know, to see like what's my mom doing, she sees a woman. This really fucking sends chills down my spine. She sees a woman basically that looks like a fucking witch. Like a witch hat, long fingernails, and a long nose, and a long black dress. She says she got so scared, she put her head under the covers, and she hugged her brother, and she just started praying, and just like, eventually she fell asleep. But when her mom and dad came home, her mom was like, what the hell? Why is like, what were you cooking in the kitchen? And when she went to go look, Her mom's like, and what's this on the floor? There was dust on the floor of the kitchen. That fucking sent chills down my spine. I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what? Honestly, I absolutely believe her, because I lived in a house like that, and I think like it's really crazy how a lot of people have stories of like when they're little and living in like a fucking haunted house, because I believe it 100%. I believe her. It sounds crazy, but I 100% believe her. So, and I know I keep saying that, but I cannot stress that enough, because I know people are like, you know, I know people hear other people's stories and they're like, yeah, right, whatever, until it happens to them. So basically, she said that her mom and her dad started experiencing things as well in the house. They started seeing things, they started hearing things. And she said after that night too, they started seeing a woman walking down the stairs, a woman, you know, peeking out the windows when they'd be outside playing. They would see somebody like in the window and it would look like a woman. You guys, this is so damn good. So eventually, they looked into the house. They looked into the history of the home and found out that the home used to be a freaking funeral parlor. No lie, that shit used to be a funeral parlor. I'm like, oh hell no. So she said that when they found that out, they moved right away. And I'm like, thank God, because bitch, some people be staying in some spooky ass houses and not fucking moving and not caring. I still wonder till this day if the people in the house that I used to live in, and she said that house sold. Like she said, yeah, the house sold. They moved out and they sold the house to somebody else. I cannot believe that shit. Like I really cannot believe that that really happened. Like they really sold it to someone else. And you know what's crazy too is like over here where I live, a townhouse. So I live in like townhouses, and one of the townhouses, like in the back corner, someone was killed in that house, and they absolutely ran it out. And I'm just like, I have spoken to one of the residents that was there, which after they moved out, after like all that shit happened and someone was killed in there, like they had rented it to several different people, and so many people have moved out so far. So far, this one resident that lives there now has been living there. So you know, they haven't said anything, but to me, they have like a bad aura around them. Believe me, they do. So, but I did talk to one of the residents that moved out, and they were like, we're moving out, like we've been experiencing stuff. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like that's so crazy. That's so freaking crazy that like the stuff that they said they experienced there in that house. Oh my god. So I'll tell you because I know you guys want to know. So one of the residents that lived there, he moved out. He was a big goofy guy, and he would always be like a goofball. Anyways, that's beside the point. But he was like, yeah, we're gonna move out, like we've been experiencing stuff. So Vato was like, what kind of stuff? And he was like, well, basically the ghost that was there, like she died and she was like trying to be sexual with him. And there is sexual ghosts, and the sexual ghosts are called incubus. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there is sexual ghosts that like do stuff to you while you're sleeping or and when you don't want them to. So they're called incubus. Anyway, so basically he said that this ghost, 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 he said that this ghost of this woman that was killed there was like trying to be with him sexually in his sleep and all that stuff. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, like, and I didn't want to believe him, but I don't like to not believe people because I've been through shit and I want people to believe me. Like, I have really been through and seen things and experienced things that when I tell someone, I want them to believe me. So I absolutely believe people when they tell me things like that. If I get sauce on my face, y'all, so be it. So, another story that the girl told me was that her friend's uncle was a truck driver. This is the same girl that said the first story. Her friend's uncle was a truck driver, and she said that he was driving down the road, obviously, and he seen a girl walking barefoot, and he was like, he stopped, you know, and he asked the girl, like, hey, like, do you need a ride, do you need help or anything? So she said that she didn't say anything, she just got in the car, like, she just opened the truck and she got in. So she got in the car, and as they're driving down the road, he's trying to talk to the girl, like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, trying to figure shit out, you know? Obviously, he has this woman in the car, you know? And he said that she wasn't really talking to him, and she was just kind of like, she was just kind of speaking really low and not really answering his questions. So he said, so it wouldn't be awkward that he put up the music. So he put some music on. And he said as soon as he put the music, she started like moving weird, like moving. And he noticed that she was moving, so he looked at her and she was like moving. She didn't say specifically how the girl was moving, but that she was like making movement. So he turned to look at her, and when he turned to look at her, the bitch had no fucking eyes. Oh my god, I cannot fucking make this shit up. Like, this is what she said, that the fucking bitch had no eyes. The girl had no eyes, okay? So the girl had no eyes, and when he seen that she had no eyes, he started freaking out. The truck started swaying, he started moving, like he almost crashed. And he said after that, he ended up in the hospital. He ended up having problems. Oh, he said that when she was moving, he started feeling hot and shaky. Like, he started feeling like something was wrong with him. And he ended up in the hospital. After that, he ended up with one eye blind. Half of his face was blind. He can't see. Basically, he's not a truck driver no more. He can't drive a truck because he's half blind. And ever since that day, he said he'll never forget it. He's traumatized. You know, it ended his whole career. And I'm like, oh my god, that's so scary. Like, that's probably how some of these truck drivers like be crashing, and you don't even know why they crashed. Like, what the hell happened, you know? I understand that some truck drivers probably, you know, they're not all the way asleep. I mean, they're not all the way awake. They're tired. So they end up ultimately crashing, you know? Thank God he didn't crash, but bitch, that's some scary shit. Here's to my second one. Cheers, you guys. I'm already buzzed. Like, I'm really buzzed. So, my last story is my friend Alicia. Her family owns a house in Mexico, which she's told me before. I've known Alicia for a long time. Shout out my friend Alicia. She I know her family as well. I've known her for a long time. She has a house in Mexico, her family. That was her grandpa's house. Basically, they used to go, well, they went over there when her grandpa first died to kind of situate the house and like clean stuff and put stuff away because her grandpa, you know, was no longer with us. So they said that when they went, they were hearing noises the first time they went. So then the second time they went was on New Year's. And she said on New Year's, they were, you know, drinking and, you know, partaking and smoking and stuff like that. And having fun and being kind of loud. And she said, all of a sudden, they hear like her mom, actually, she said her mom walked to the room to check on her little cousin. Her little cousin was sleeping in the room. So her mom went to go check on her little cousin that was sleeping, and she heard a knock on the door. They were like, what the fuck, you know? They didn't believe her, basically. I just told her she was tripping. And they ignored it. Within the next couple of minutes, as they're talking about it, boom, 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 they hear a big ass knock at the door. They said that it was so fucking scary that nobody wanted to check who it was. Even the men that were there, grown ass men, her dad, her uncle, didn't want to check who the fuck it was or where the fuck it came from. So she said that ladies of the house, because you know us Latinas, we bad bitches, we don't give a fuck. We go out there with a bat, we go out there with a motherfucking sock with a rock in it. We go out there trying to investigate who the fuck knocking on my damn door. So she said her mom, her aunt, her cousin, they all went out there. Her grandma had a machete. Her mom had this and that. I don't know what they had, like weapons on them, which I would do too, shit. I remember one time they were breaking into my car. I went out there like, motherfucker, you better get the fuck out of my car. Anyway, so she said they went out there investigating, and there was nothing out there. They looked for footprints. There was no footprints in the sand because obviously Mexico, they sand everywhere, dirt everywhere. They said there was nothing to be seen, and they were so fucking scared. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys like this mukbang. Stay safe during Halloween. Halloween is like, I fucking love Halloween more than Christmas, more than any other holiday. So I hope you guys enjoy this mukbang. I love you guys. Stay chunky because chunky is beautiful, and peace out.